Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. Now if you clicked on this reading wondering if you're going to like the reading, you're going to like it because it wasn't something that I'm necessarily into. I never was, I never really followed it all the drama and chaos going on. But let's face it, it's one of those cases that, well, we're going to ask the question, but probably didn't get the right justice. Now I'm going to have to be careful with my videos because I tend to be very honest. I'm not just clickbait. I'm not just doing videos of regurgitating information or stuff like that. So I have to be careful with some of the things when we deal with these crime cases, because and some of the cases that are not necessarily liked by a platform to be mentioned for various reasons. So with this case, I am going to actually channel through what I feel OJ's like, and I'm going to use tarot as well, so I don't fully channel. So when I channel, I'll just channel. I might do channel and auto write, but now I'm channeling, but I'm using tarot as well so that it eases the full involvement of channeling. So it'll be via my spirit guides, my own psychic ability, and also tapping into OJ. So OJ Simpson was a famous, was it a baseball player? Oh dear, we started very well. Here you go. Oh jeez. So he was born 9th of July 1947 and he died on the 10th of April 2024, American football player. So I think we would call it in England baseball, would we? Or is that, no, football? No. Football in America is rugby in England. Was he a rugby player? Anyway. He was regarded one of the greatest running backs of all time. His professional success was overshadowed by a trial and controversial acquittal of the M's of former wife Nicole Brown and her friend Ron Goldman in 1994. Now, 9th of July 1947 means he's a Cancer. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually... I'm actually just looking at a photo of his as well to help bring through the channeling, which I didn't have until I was just reading this bio, but I've realised that it's going to help. I think he has a Leo in his top chart, in his top placements. He died on the 10th of April 2024, so it's very recent. We're going to go into if he's on his healing path journey, on his if he's going on to his, if he's healing, if he's doing his life review, tapping into how his energy is at the moment. Well, this is interesting. Other names he had: the Juice. Occupations: football player, actor, sports broadcaster and spokesman. Profession: he was known for his professional career for the M trial. M, not a person, but MURDER, and robbery case. Criminal charges: armed robbery, kidnapping in 2007. So who was that about? Kidnapping? Can you let me know in the comments? Criminal penalty: 33 years of imprisonment, 9 years without parole in 2008. Criminal status: acquitted in 1995, convicted in 2008 and paroled in 2017. So I'm going to ask him about prison. That's 9 years. Discharged from parole in 2021. Spouses: he was married before Nicole Brown and then he didn't have a spouse. 5 children. 6'1" to a tall guy. I'm actually trying to look for something. He had cancer, didn't he? But what cancer was it? Was it the prostate? I can't. That's what I'm trying to find. Anyway, with the 9th of July, he's got a 9 is kind of your, I think he went into a ballistic rage because just taking that 9th of July 1974, we do have problems with the law in that, but there's quite a higher self kind of energy here. And he's a Cancer is a nurturing, but the shadow of Cancer can be quite obsessive. But I feel like, I wonder if what his moon is. If his moon is a water sign, I do think that he was quite intuitive, but he went totally shadow Cancer side, but into psychopath kind of energy. Like, it's not, and I don't have his full birth chart, so forgive me, I just took his thing, but like, he would have to see where certain placements are, which is interesting. But for example, what houses they're in and etc., and where he's got the squares. But I definitely think there's Leo in his top placement. And I also think that, going back to the number, it's about, I think he took his work really seriously, his reputation really, really seriously. And I feel like he was a type of person that can do any job and solve any problem and just lead successfully, like a great leader. Like, courage and inspiration is there, and his reputation is very important. And I'm getting the word bold coming through. And I feel like he's wanting me to say that. He probably should have devoted more time to his family life and that, in terms of love and praise. But I wonder if his sort of background has been, I'm getting yes, maybe his father or his background was quite harsh, so maybe, in certain times there was quite a bit of when telling a child off, there'd be abuse beyond sort of what would be acceptable now. So I wonder if that also made him pent up emotions and how he felt on a day-to-day basis. And so there was kind of this soft interior that was just covered by a hard shell. And I feel now, when I'm going to channel, is that this is going to be the struggle for him right now. What's interesting, if any of you are following the Sebastian read, I feel Sebastian has started his healing journey, but from when I last channeled him, basically. I'll have to go into that separately. But yeah, it's, there's a sensitive side to him with what I probably think is in his chart, but I'm surprised that is in his chart if he's got the sensitive side. I think he went total psychopath, and it was kind of like emotions just flung out, way out of balance, and because in general he'd want to be the one that's the rescuer, he'd want to be the one that's the oh, he's come to my rescue, oh, OJ this, oh that, OJ that. Do you see what I'm saying? But very reliable person, and in some way a lot of initiative, determination to succeed beyond what the average person is. And that's where probably maybe he could have done with and that's why he probably was successful, if we think of it. But I do think there's Leo, because I think he liked that, from the way I'm seeing him right now. He likes the admiration, the love, and the applause. But then your pride can get out of hand, and maybe this is where if he's got water in his top placements as well, the intuitive, the soft, sensitive side that you couldn't quite see, because maybe the way he was brought up, the thing of being masculine, whatever it is, maybe physical abuse in his childhood in terms of the way he was brought up, not necessarily his parents thinking it's physical abuse, but maybe his father, like a boy shouldn't cry, and would, if he cried or he acted like he was hurt, he'd get more hitting, that kind of stuff, or abuse. But and I think if he ever wasn't the center of the like the trophy or the applause, he'd be a bit bitter. So let's just tap in a bit more. So let's ask that question first, and I kind of know the answer. I'm gonna use this tarot deck. Let's just, it's interesting I'm doing it like this because Spirit just said feel the energy of the card and then choose before shuffling. So I'm going to do it that way. So without shuffling and the spit out of the cards, basically. How did those two, Nicole Brown and Thingy, how were they expired? Was it a gunshot? Was it to the head or what? Okay. Five children, and I believe, were they all Nicole Brown's kids, or were they from the former wife as well? From the former wife as well. Got the Knight of Cups, we've got the Nine of Wands, and with the Two of Wands. So he was watching for quite some time. He was watching, waiting for the right exact time. This was, I feel this was, I'm told to pull this card as well for what I want to say. Yeah, I was going to say this was extremely planned out. Look at all these algebra and stuff. This was really planned out to the T. And I feel like Leo. So I do think he's got a Leo in his top placement. And there is an inner child that is a bit hurt. I'm also being drawn to 8. So 8 this year is when his passing is. 6 of Wands in reverse. That wouldn't have been the energy that he liked. He would have liked to been up, you can see, in recognition. So he didn't like what, maybe it was starting to get out like little rumors. But my question with these two cards was, did he have help in the background? And I feel like he is not open to exposing anyone who helped him in the background. And he takes full responsibility. And should this be something that is brought to light, the light should be on, not the light, but the focus should be on him. And anyone who was in the background that helped cross the T's, dot the I's, all this executed plan is not brought into the limelight. Okay, and now I'm allowed to do the shuffle. You know what? I feel like he's resisting His why I'm getting told to look at the bottom of the deck, strength again, is that card. He's resisting going fully into his healing journey or his life review. So what does that mean? That means that okay, so what I'm going to say exposes him according to him. Do you know when you are having a tough time and you've got troubles or you've got pain or heartbreak, and what you do is you keep yourself so busy, whether it's exercising, work, and so you just don't want to feel or think of anything or think of why you did something. That's the kind of energy. It's kind of like he's learned to be what I can't hang on. Do you know when you sort of the word I know the word compartmentalize, decompartment, why it's not coming out for me, but do you know when you learn to box everything, like I'm keeping this in me, I'm not touching that, I don't want to touch that trauma, I don't want to touch that, I'm masking it as if it never happened. I'm like, or I don't want to face my emotions, etc. And you put certain things in your life in kind of like a box, and some of them you keep away, and eventually one day you have to face it, and that's what we call healing trauma as well. But it's kind of like, I think he doesn't want to open that box because it's sort of like he's put it so far back as if it was something that never happened, and as if he then bought into the lie. I'm really interested. Can someone tell me if you know the story? Like, why was he taken for kidnapping? What was the kidnapping? Was it to do with this as well? Was it to do with Nicole Brown, or was it someone else? Obviously, we know that he had the Kardashians' lawyer, the father, as a lawyer. And he's saying yes, but there were other people that helped in the background. And yes, he was in a rage and totally out of focus. But so when I was thinking, did you understood what you did? It's like I knew what I was doing. I think the thing here is that he doesn't understand what he's done. And he's never understood the magnitude to it because he's never looked at it. And now I feel like when he's supposed to do his life review, he's kind of like, and I'm getting a yes to the next thing I was going to say, I'll tell you now. He was he's kind of like hovering, not want to fully go into this life review because it's going to open Pandora's box for him. I'm not saying there's other stuff, but so much trauma and so much going back to, like, if you faced any hurt, you kind of, or even if you've been a victim of something, and I'm not saying he was, whatever it is, you throw it in the back of you so you don't have to face it, even if it's guilt or remorse or whatever it is, because it causes so much pain. You can't face it. And so after many, many years, we're talking about did we say 1994 it was done? This is like 20 years later. He died at 76. And I think a lot of people were hoping that there'll be an epiphany, or that he would, and I'm getting different channel messages, so I've lost the first part I wanted to say. Let's complete this part a minute. He's like, people were waiting for this epiphany, for the 100%, and for me to sort of become this wise sage. But it seems like he's struggling with it. Let me go back to what I was explaining. So he's kind of like delaying, not wanting to fully accept going into this kind of like, and I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing, how can I, do I have my pen and paper? Hang on a sec. I'm going to lose the first chain of thought, but I'm seeing right now, oh no, that's a terrible drawing. Oh, I think it's the Nazi thing, where it goes like, something like that I was seeing, okay? I don't know what that symbolism means. Okay, so, or in connection to this as well. So just, he doesn't want to go into that. He's kind of standoffish, and I think he's sort of been delaying his healing journey. Obviously, at some stage you get put into it, but it's kind of like the fear and opening that can of worms. And then you're in this, going back to feeling, sorry, I'm trying to channel and I am channeling, but then I'm getting different stuff at the same time. Going back to the simple example of being busy, being on the run, like let's say you've lost someone, and then when you're in, so when I lost someone in my family close to me, it was very hard for me to be alone. Like and I'm a type of person, I'm fine being alone, I'm fine being, and I like to be busy. But it was kind of like, no, it was too quiet. The quiet was, do you know when the quietness is like screams? It's like, so I feel like that is kind of, where am I getting with this? Yeah, to face himself, because obviously he's done this, to face himself and then face the whole thing, I think is going to be too deafening for him, and he knows. So there's a delay there, and I presume with that, he might have lingered near Earth quite a bit. You know, some souls, whether it's like, so Michael Jackson, he stayed in Neverland until he knew his kids were out and safe before he left the earth on that day. So he didn't just transition and left his physical body up. And Sinead O'Connor is coming through. And it's kind of like, unlike Sinead O'Connor, I don't know why I'm getting that, but I know that I want to do a reading on Sinead O'Connor and what she wants to say. I feel like she has a message to say on one of the crime cases currently going on. And I know one of you wanted part 3 of Sinead O'Connor, and I don't know if you still follow me. I'd love to know if you still follow me and look out for that. So it's kind of like, that's trying to delay that. So there's an element of ego still there. But I think even though he's coming through as a kind of a standoffish ego, I can see inside of him, it's going to just be deafening to face himself. And he's going to have to go through that life review like we all do, and then a healing journey. So I wonder if there was a lot of built up anger and resentment, but I do think he was in a rushing rage. He was in a rushing rage that day, beyond like a bit psychopathic. I think there was abuse, wasn't there? So I wonder if it's because he also felt emotions quite intensely, and probably like, if he can't have her, no one can, something like that. Let's do this. I'm looking for spit outs only now. Did he write a book about it? Like, if he did it? That's really weird if he did. That would be like psychopathic, and also really someone who's confident they're going to get away with it. Did he write a book? I should ask the cards. Did he write a book? 7 of Wands in the middle there. So we've got the 4 of Swords, Fool, the Hanged Man. This is his current energy, exactly what I was saying. So the passing away, and there's your new chapter of going to be a soul, right? And he's Hanged Man in reverse, not wanting to face it, wanting to kind of like sort of stagger it as much as possible. You know, this is kind of like, and we've got a 3, so to do with a woman as well. This is kind of like, how can I explain it? I think I've explained it. I think you understand where I'm coming from with that. It's kind of like self-sabotage and holding on to something, stubbornness, and I feel his energy is quite like matriarchal as well. Is there something about someone's got rights to the book? Let's continue. So what I was channeling from him and spirit guides, the cards are showing now. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, so an apology or coming to an acceptance of it is going to need a lot of strength from him. A lot of strength from him. And obviously at some stage they might meet, but I don't think this is right now. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So the challenge is here again, not wanting to get past it. Finding a challenge, moving past something. So moving past it to face now, being in spirit and being, I'm not saying he's lingering in earth or haunting anyone, no, but I'm saying he's there, but he's not wanting, he just, although he's coming across quite standoffish, inside of him, I can see it, is actually the fear of facing it and just knowing that, not only facing it that, yeah, I did it, and then it's just disconnected emotions, like he decarmentalized, decarmentalized, no, that's not it. What is it with that word? I said it earlier when I was thinking of him. Like I was just preparing. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. And so it's kind of like, but now it's like facing it. And so will he be able to handle? At some stage when you go through, even if you don't see or feel it to the extent, you will eventually through your healing journey. And that might take a very long time. But I think even opening that, yeah, I wonder about this book. So let's continue here, but I think it's very clear. Seven of Pentacles, not wanting to work on the healing, exactly what I've been channeling. 8 of Cups, still not able to fully walk away or face any regret here. And the Queen of Swords, in sort of like, just in mental energy. Don't want to get into the emotional state. So the channeling seems of the heavy burden that is gonna make him feel around the deceit and lies as well that was done, and that it's really that's gonna be the epiphany of him sort of awakening to the higher level and reviewing, having his life review. So the channeling is in line with the tarot. I'm getting when he transitioned, it was Cancer, and usually you're on meds not to feel the pain, but he could actually feel the physical pain. I also feel like he didn't fully tell his children directly that he did it, but he was making sure that the message was kind of clear to them, even if it didn't click straight away. Obviously they probably know that it will click for them, but in a very gentle way. But again, he doesn't want to say who might have helped in the background to get everything, you know, the I's dotted, the T's crossed, because I think there's someone still alive. Now, unless that person passes away and perishes, I think his kids or a kid is going to actually do, I don't know why I'm getting Netflix, but like a Netflix show about this, and maybe about his father, but not necessarily in a negative way, but coming forward with this story and life of him being his kid. And I'm saying him, for some reason I feel it's a male, but I don't think he's going to do it at the detriment that will make his father feel betrayed. And that means also making sure his father, because his father's quite high on protecting anyone that's still alive from being disclosed or put in jeopardy or questioned, because he couldn't do that to that person. And he's extremely loyal to that person, not to do that or to put that person in that position. So I feel like if his son knows, and I think he might have an inkling, but obviously he hasn't told his son directly that he did it, his son is not going to betray his father and just go all out there. And also the person who, I'm getting probably also a couple of people even behind that person. So we know that a lawyer's already passed, but there's another, there's more than one person basically that helped. And so his son wouldn't want to do anything for exploitation or want to do anything that his father wouldn't be happy about. But I do think something will come out in the future. Again, I don't know how far in the future, because I think his father would like it to be when anyone who helped has already passed away, so that even if the names are not mentioned, they're not questioned. But I don't know if the son knows that, and if the son does know that, he's not going to do it because he wouldn't want to betray his dad. So he's put this so far back that he didn't want to touch this. This is OJ, and so it's kind of like after many years you believe the lie, and you've put it so far back that you don't have the feelings towards it. But he's resisting his review, kind of hung on the earth element. And I think it's coming from a place of fear as well, and not wanting to face that trauma or understand it or face the deafening silence of having to go through that. Let's look at his energy towards his kids. See, I promised you a channeling with the tarot and we got it. Be interesting to see his energy in the future, if he's accepted the review, how long it takes. Ten of Cups, I just saw at the bottom of the deck and told to take that Ten of Cups. So let's have a look at this. We've got the Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, Six of Wands. What did I say? That he's kind of indicated what he'd done to the mother. Now, I don't know if all five are from Nicole Brown, but there must be some, because here it's showing there was communication. Bottom of the deck, the Two of Wands, again around the mother. But he was waiting for a very long time to give more and more information over time about it. And I don't know if I'm getting this, but there could have been that she was pregnant at one stage when they were together or not together, but maybe she lost the baby as well, or, you know, I don't know if she was at the time or whatever. And it's not necessarily at his hands, but she did lose the baby. Maybe at his hands. So here with the kids, there was a lot of always trying to balance the priority with the kids. He felt like money, which a lot of men do, money really helped stabilize and helped him be able to provide for the children in excess whatever they wanted, maybe to make up for the loss of the mother. And he recognized each and every one of his children in their unique way. But at the same time, he liked, in some aspect, the recognition of his children underseeing who he was in the world. Like, you know, the famous footballer, the great dad that can provide and stuff like that. He did have love for his kids, so please don't take that the wrong way. But he did keep the secret to himself, the stuff that they didn't know. Chariot and Justice. See, the stuff that he didn't tell them. He told them a little eventually, but he didn't tell them directly about the injustice and about, you know, you sow what you reap, basically. He just felt he couldn't say it directly. He couldn't tell them directly. And so he had to keep a lot of the secrets to himself. It's interesting. I wonder if he's got a Pisces placement as well. He definitely has a Leo placement in his top placements. He was kind of a romantic person, by the way. He did have like nice romantic loving gestures. He held on to a lot. He held on to a lot in this life as well. And he held on to, what is that? I'm getting this sign, the fish. Held on to money for them to have the inheritance. Yes. Tower. Mental clarity. Yeah, so they're at, you know, he did provide enough communication for them to fully understand and have the mental clarity of what happened in their childhood. So I'm going to leave this here. If you enjoyed this, please do let me know. I hope you've given it a benefit of the doubt if you're not interested in the case, because obviously it's not about the case, it's about seeing his current energy, and I think it's interesting to see that. And if you did, give it a like. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, subscribe, support the channel. And I can start to dedicate more work to it, because, you know, I've dedicated a lot of time to the channel, and it's still a very small channel, and I've got obviously my own clients and stuff. But when things, as the channel grows and stuff, and if you support it, it makes sense to continue to dedicate the time needed. Let me know if you enjoyed this, by the way. And it's interesting, I'm getting told again, Pisces and the Chariot card. So everyone, take care and bye for now.